Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Marquette Golden Eagles Dynasty here on NCAA Football 14. Our Marquette Golden Eagles come off a tough loss last time out in overtime against the West Virginia Mountaineers in Morgantown. We had a lead, but 3 interceptions from Greg Walker, maybe his worst performance of his career so far. Before that, though, very clean season, just 2 interceptions entering that game, but the West Virginia Mountaineers just took over, and Walker was a little rattled. But we're still 5-1, a very good season, although we do drop out of the rankings. But we do face Kansas State here, 2-3, but coached by Bill Snyder, the longtime head man here. And they do have Jesse Ertz at quarterback, a very balanced roster, but hopefully we can take advantage of one of our weaker opponents on the docket this season and get back in the win column. We're here at the opening coin toss, and Kansas State does win it, and they will defer. So Marquette will start with the ball here at home. As I said, we look back to get into the win column, as we're now underway here in Milwaukee, as we're officially more than halfway through this season with that kickoff. Williamson steers away from a man, works past the 25, but maybe holding or clipping. I think it's coming back. If you missed last episode, we previewed the Kansas State Wildcats, and the corner spot's by far their strongest position. So we're going to stay underneath, do some safe passes, and just focus on attacking the middle of this defense. And a Marquette from the 11 to start the day. And that pass way off from Greg Walker. Not what you want to see from Greg Walker after last week's performance. And I think here we will audible to an inside run. We had the wide receiver screen, but Coleman getting jammed there. And like I said, these corners very good, so we're not going to really test them early. And we'll just stay conservative here. An inside run for McBride, and that's a great play there by Jordan Willis on the edge. A quick third down here, 3rd and 10. And you certainly don't want a 3 and out to start this game, especially backed up deep in your own territory. Walker takes the snap. We have Coleman there at the sideline. He hauls it in. Or he does not. I thought he got a foot in. We might have to challenge that. So we are going to go ahead and use a coach's challenge. I thought he got the back foot in there, but I could be wrong. Good route either way to get open, get some separation. And I don't know if that back foot was down. I think he might have pulled it up as he went in for the catch. And we are charged a timeout, so the play does stand, and a tough break there to open the day. Now Eddie Stevens on for the punt, as we have to punt from our own 11 here. Not a promising start here today from the BMO Bradley Center. And not the best punt either, as that's going to be fielded by Spencer from the 45. And a big tackle there by Derek Perkins, the true freshman. Kansas State good field position as Jesse Ertz. A good performance last week, 255 yards and 1 touchdown pass. A very good senior quarterback. Kansas State brings a multiple offense, so kind of hard to predict their game plan. Jamil Davis at running back, only a 75 overall starting running back, although he will get the give here out of the gate. And a big hit there from Kevin Davis crashing down. Davis on Davis there. For those who watched last week, that was just a brutal showing at the end of the game. It's those ones you don't forget about. 2 late interceptions when we should have had it. And Davis just breezes by Bobby Price there, and he'll pick up the first down. But, you know, that happens. Teams, you know, they drop games even though they're in the driver's seat pretty much the whole way. Kind of come apart there at the end. It's a team effort. And now Davis, another good carry up the middle, gets another 11. And as I've stressed throughout this series, after a loss, you know, we're not going to win them all. So I don't mind losses, especially if they're exciting games, you know, that bring us a fumble there from Ertz. And Carter jumps on it. Ertz going for the option. And an ill-advised pitch there as the Kansas State Wildcats turn it over inside the red zone. Carter all over that. And he had a forced fumble last week as well. Marquette now +6 in the turnover differential, top 10 in the nation. And we see Dusty Alexander back there, the junior running back, who's been out since week 1. Great to see him back on the field. His first carry of the day, a draw, and he'll get ahead for 7. Great turnover there, really changes the momentum here early on. Now 2nd and 3 will go right back to Alexander. And not able to get the first down, but he does get 3, now 3rd and inches. Alexander's still in the backfield. And he'll get another one here. good quickness in the lane there, and he gets out for 6. We really missed his acceleration, his quick cuts there on the inside. Craig Jones and Mario McBride, solid for Alexander, but I think he's just on a different level. We'll go right back to him, finds a lane. Good blocking there from Hill at right tackle. And another 11 for Alexander. Chipping away here. 27 yards on 4 carries. And now McBride checks into the game. Give it a little rest to Alexander. We will go play action here for the first time. And Walker is sacked. That's Jordan Willis, future NFL draft pick of the Cincinnati Bengals, getting home. And that sets us back. That's always the risk of running play action. But I thought after those 4 runs, thought we might be able to make it work. Now 2nd and 18. Walker takes another snap here. We'll just dump it off here for Kenneth Pope. And he can't really get going upfield. Just 4 yards now, 3rd and 13. The Golden Eagles now from the 43. Walker out there empty. I wish I could put Coleman on a deeper out there. I guess I'll just put him vertically. Try and see if he could pull this underhanging defender away. They're going to blitz that guy. We're going to have Terry over the middle, and we can't get the throw off. Hit as we throw, and this Kansas State front playing very well against the pass here. Our run blocking obviously holding up a lot better as Eddie Stevens on for another punt here. I think we had a good one last week at the 4-yard line maybe. Here, going to try and pin him back. That one not as good. Looks like it's going to get out there around the 20. Now the Wildcats take over after the fumble at the 18. So I think ultimately like a 39-yard punt from Stevens. And I think we'll take that on the net yardage. And now Ertz will keep. They'll give it right back to him after the fumble, and he gets a couple. Ertz now from the shotgun, 2nd and 8. They'll pass here. Just dump that off for Davis. Clark can't bring him down, and Davis, some good second effort moves there. He gets 10 and a first down. Jamil Davis, a 75 overall running back, as I said. Maybe the weakest starting running back we've played all year. And not the best offensive line in front of him either. And now Ertz will keep again, breaks a tackle, and trips up over his own man, finally brought down 7 yards. Next week we head to Madison, Wisconsin to take on the Wisconsin Badgers in the War for Wisconsin. Big brother, apparently, but we're going to try and change that storyline. A good shoestring tackle there by Mike Johnson. 3rd and 2 now for the Wildcats. And Joka, I don't want to hear you rocking the Wisconsin colors next week. I want you to still be rocking your Juice Campbell jersey. 3rd and 2 now. And a good run there for Ransom, the backup running back. He gets ahead for the first down. Wildcats moving the ball fairly well on this drive, eating up decent chunks. They'll fake it now for Davis. And now Ertz is going to take off, and a big price there. A big tackle there by Bobby Price. Absolutely buries Ertz there. Really good pursuit angle there by Bobby Price. Cutting that run off and delivering a big hit. And we still have him for 1 more year. Now Ertz, another dump off here. We're going to have to play a little tighter on these receivers. Nick Washington, 9 yards of first down. Entering this week, Antonio Carr at left end, tied for the lead, nation's lead in sacks with 7. Ertz, a bubble screen there for Washington. And a good team effort there. A bunch of Marquette defenders to bring him down only 3 yards. Antonio Carr with 7 sacks, although he's been very hot and cold. I think maybe 5 of those 7 sacks have come in 2 different games. And now Ertz, another screen there for Vernon Vaughn. And that goes for a loss. Good play there to bring him down. Quick reaction. Who was that over there? Robert Williamson, the junior corner, leading our team with 3 picks. Going to try cover 1 lurk here on 3rd and 9. I don't expect many deep shots here from Kansas State, so I think we can, if we can keep him in front of us, we'll be all right. And Jamil Davis, a big truck there as he fights out for the first down, but Carter gets him 4th and inches now, and the Wildcats are going to go for it from the 37. Early 4th down here for Kansas State. They are going to pass here. A bunch of guys open at the sideline, and that's Small, the tight end, 3 yards, and we had no one on that side of the field. That's Cody Small, a very good tight end here for Kansas State. 9 touchdowns as a freshman and sophomore, but last year only 3. And now as a senior, only 1 so far this season. And another dump off for Davis. I think that's already 4 or 5 catches for him. And that might take us into the 2nd quarter. As it does so. No score here in the first, but another red zone drive brewing here for Kansas State. They turned it over the first time. The Marquette offense hasn't really gotten anything going, but we definitely have benefited off that turnover so far. But our pass protection is definitely going to have to get it together a little bit. And let's see if our defense, I think we're going to have to maybe force another turnover here at this rate. Kansas State, just very disciplined football team, sound, and they're not going to do anything over the top, but if we can force another turnover, I think we'll be all right. And Jake Witherspoon reading that keep there for Ertz all the way, getting in for the tackle for loss. Ertz, I think 9 for 9 there in that first quarter for like 55 yards. Now a 3rd and 6 from the 30. And over the middle, Aaron Clark, a good break on the ball to get a hand in there. 2 turnovers forced last week. He had an interception, and then he also took a pitch. Should have took it for a pitch 6, we'll call it, on the option play, but he was brought down as the camera did some weird stuff. We were trying to run forward, and it ended up forcing us backwards. So Kansas State on for the field goal, and that goes wide right, and we're still scoreless here in Milwaukee. Generally, I feel like we go up against very good field goal kickers, but the past couple weeks, I think we've had like 3 or 4 missed field goals against us. Do you like that? Now we'll start this drive. Mario McBride, an outside run, and Jordan Willis, good pursuit there to take him down. He had a lot of space. Now 2nd and 5 from the 35. Walker to pass. For Terry there, not the best ball from Walker. I want him to lead him a little more towards the sideline. Another incompletion. Now 3rd and 5. Craig Jones checks into the game. We go read option. And Walker stood up there. I thought he was going to make it. A great tackle there. I thought we might catch him off guard with the read option, but not the case. And we're going to have to punt again. Eddie Stevens, a very busy man here today. And our offensive flow, going back even to the UW game a few weeks back, just not the strongest. Got to switch it up a little bit. Stevens' punt is going to be fielded there at the 15. That's Spencer. And there's Mike Carroll, a big hit on special teams. He's been super strong as a gunner for us there on the punt coverage. Kansas State from the 22. And they'll go handoff here for Davis, and that's Kenny Johnson, the senior corner, coming off the edge there to make a strong tackle for a loss. 2nd and 11 now. Ertz takes the snap, back to pass. Going to run. And Chris Carter there to bring him down. Ertz still picks up 6 yards, now a 3rd and 5. See what Kansas State does here. 3rd and 5, Ertz to pass. And that's, I think, Troy Walker trying to bring him down. No, that was Jerry Jones initially, and then Mike Johnson able to pick it up. Still an 11-yard loss. And Ertz very strong there, but then laid out by Mike Johnson. He couldn't break 2 tackles on that one. And now we're going to trade punts. Kansas State's first punt of the day. Mike Johnson, I think I said a few weeks back, just our most consistent player on the defensive line over definitely this season, maybe the past 2 seasons. And Kevin Davis only 3 yards there on that return. And then Marquette from the 43, maybe our best starting field position of the day. And again, we'll go with a draw for Alexander. And somehow ekes out a couple. Just ran into the line there, collapsed quickly. Now Craig Jones into the game. He will get a carry here. And a good play there off the edge. Jones ahead for 3, now 3rd and 5. Now Alexander back in there. As he does get the carry, he gets ahead for just 3 or 4. And it will bring up a 4th and short from over across midfield. And Bobby Goss is telling us to go for it here. Last week in overtime, we were stuffed on 4th and 3. We ran it with McBride, and we were just stuffed. So I think we'll go pass here on this 4th and short. Childress in motion. Walker takes the snap. Nothing really open. And we do get it to Alexander there. Not the best decision, but it does pay off. We barely moved the chains. Wow. Walker 2 for 6, only 6 yards here. Not the best start. Had a bad throw earlier. I think that was his first attempt. Now we'll go back to Craig Jones here to the outside. Great backside pursuit there by 31. And Jones brought down Jordan Willis again, having a very strong day. Now we're going to go with curl flat here, 2nd and 10. Looks like that linebacker looked like he was showing blitz, but now maybe going to drop back into coverage. Not really sure. Maybe Coleman can get open there on that out. Good coverage. We'll just run it here with Walker. And we're going to slide 6 yards. And we don't take off too often there, but good coverage. As I mentioned earlier, very good corners on this Kansas State team. Marquette 1 out of 5 on third down. Typically a good third down team, but the past few weeks really struggled in that capacity. Now, I think we might be able to get Watkins there on that little quick hitch, or maybe Mason underneath. Maybe we'll go for Mason, and he drops it. He's been super consistent all year and drops an easy one there for the first down. Now 4th and 4 from the 42, and they want us to punt this time. I guess we'll just go with it. I mean, I really don't trust our offense right now. I do trust our defense. They've really struggled to put together some drives. So we'll go back to Steady Eddie here. See if we can pin him back. That one looks to be pretty good. I don't know if that went for a touchback or not. Out at the 10. I misread that one very bad, I guess. I thought it was either like at the 1 or 2 or just out of bounds, or for a touchback, but it does go out at the 10. Was that like a 32-yard swing? I think we'll take that at this point. 2:24 here for Kansas State as this first half of play winds down. Jamil Davis, a strong stiff arm there, but Mike Johnson able to wrap him up on the second effort. 2nd and 11 now as we hit the 2-minute mark here in the second quarter. Ertz is going to throw that one away wisely. It looked like the pocket was collapsing and really nothing open. Now 3rd and 11. And, you know, if we're able to force a quick 3 and out here and then they have to punt, that kind of makes our punt more worthwhile rather than going for it. And they will just stay conservative with a run. And Bobby Price there to bring down Davis. We will call a timeout. And that Stevens punt there, getting out at the 10, kind of benefiting us with a strong defensive response. Now Kansas State will have to punt deep in their own territory. Time for us to take advantage on the return and get some better field position. That one is up. Davis going to field from the 41, I think that was. Lost track of the defender. I had my eyes on the yard line there. But we do get ahead. And good field position to start. The Golden Eagles with it from the 49. 1:46 remaining, just one timeout. We just took one, and then we were charged one earlier. And Walker takes the snap. We were charged one earlier on that false start. And nothing open downfield again. And we're stalled out there at the sideline. Technically a sack, a 1-yard loss. So what does Walker have, like 6 passing yards in this first half? I mean, we did have that one from Coleman earlier where he couldn't get the foot in. And then Mason a drop before to stall out that drive. Now 2nd and 11. And we'll just go to Craig Jones here on the outside run. And we only get a couple at the end. Struggling there. Maybe the linebacker there off that Craig Jones spin. Now 3rd and 9. I think we'll keep Mason as an extra blocker. Just put Coleman on an out here. I mean, we'll let a little more time chip away. Now Walker does take the snap. Coleman was open on that out, but I waited a little too long, and then we're brought down by a sack. I should have just got that one away, but I wanted the clock to at least keep rolling, and what a pitiful offensive showing thus far. This offense looks completely different to how we started the year. Offense was clicking on all cylinders. Now we can't get a first down. Now another Stevens punt here, 33 seconds. Let's see if we can do it again. That one definitely not as good, but at least they won't get a return, as that does go out inside the 20. Puntapalooza here today, just trading punts left and right. Now 28 seconds left for the Wildcats, 2 timeouts. They will try and set up a screen here for Davis. And a big hit there by Williamson. And it looks like the Wildcats will just let this one go into halftime. As we are all set here, nothing after one half. I don't think we've ever had a first half with no scoring. So points obviously at a premium here today. And let's try and get it going on offense. I'm not really sure. We were having good success on some inside runs earlier. And I guess we just have to kind of go back to that with Alexander. Not sure why we haven't really just been feeding him the rock. Definitely want to get Walker going a little bit, but it's been a big struggle for him the past few weeks. Maybe still a little rattled after that loss last week in Morgantown. But we do start on defense, I believe. And we just got to keep doing what we're doing on that side of the ball. Kansas State has been able to string together some consecutive plays, but otherwise our defense has been all over them there, especially towards the end of that first quarter, or second quarter rather. And up front, we're kind of dominating them, but only 38 total yards for Marquette. Probably our worst half of football offensively throughout this series. Kansas State only 77 for themselves. So let's come out clicking, hopefully, on offense and get on the scoreboard here today. Stevens now to start us off here in the second half. We got bad kick power on that one. Released it a little low. It's going to be fielded at the 10 by Jones. And a good tackle there as they only get back to the 25 off the bad kick. So each team failed to eclipse 100 yards in that first half. Let's see if this one goes any better. Ertz will keep again. Finds a nice lane and then tripped up. A 9-yard rush for the quarterback. Ertz now from the shotgun on 2nd and 1. And he'll keep again. Good blocking there. And Kevin Davis delivers a big hit. Another 9 yards for Ertz. In a game like this, you start to get antsy. You just want to make a big splash somehow, but you just got to stick to your game, play the long game. As Ertz, another 9, the 9-yard special. Now 2nd and 1, Kansas State across midfield. They'll go back now to Jameel Davis. And a big hole opens up for him, 10 yards. Kenny Johnson on the stop. Another first down for Kansas State now inside the 40. A tremendous opening drive here in this half. And they'll go back to Davis, and Bobby Price all over that one, no gain. 2nd and 10, Ertz from the shotgun. Ransom checks into the game, and he does get the carry. And Williamson there with Mike Johnson to take him down for a loss there. Now 3rd and long for the Wildcats. Ertz takes the snap. They go screen, and Aaron Clark all over that one. Another tackle for loss. And I don't think the Wildcats in field goal range here. But they will go for it anyway. A 56-yarder here to get on the board. And I don't know about this one. The first one didn't look too promising. Kick is up, and that's not even close. We will get our first studio update of the day, though. We haven't been able to get any with all this lack of scoring. As number 25, Tennessee, currently leading South Carolina 28-21. The Gamecocks #1 in the nation. And Tennessee, they're 3-4. We beat them, and they're still ranked over us. Minnesota up 24-21 against an undefeated Northwestern team. Now Marquette takes over, good field position at the 39, and we'll start an inside carry for Dusty Alexander, and he gets that for 6 yards. And now McBride into the game here in this I formation with the 2 tight ends. He does get the carry. Good blocking there on the edge, and good patience for McBride to find a hole, gets that for 5. Now Terry, Alexander, and McBride all in the backfield as we do go for McBride. Breaks the initial tackle, and then he fumbles, but luckily recovered there by Randy Heidemann. 4-yard loss, though. Walking out from the shotgun, Craig Jones into the backfield. They do go with the run here on 2nd and very long. And Jones gets 4 yards back, now 3rd and 10. Marquette now midfield, just 1 for 7 now on 3rd down. Here I'm kind of hoping for Mason, but maybe McBride out of the backfield. Walker takes the snap. And we'll get that for Childress on the run. Thought we might be past the line of scrimmage, but we went for it anyway. Finally, something through the air, but not a conventional connection by any means. Another risky one there. The defender kind of in close, but he kind of broke to Walker, and that opened up Childress, even with the safety there breaking down who's covering Mason. All right, we needed something like that just to get Walker some positivity there. It's been rough going. And now a screen for Coleman, and that goes for 8. And we're just going to go hurry up here, show a little tempo. Then we go with smash concept here. I do want to flip it to the other side, though. I think we'll just put Mason as an extra blocker there on the left side. Slide right. And maybe just Terry there on that quick hitch. And we were going for Terry, and Samuel broke down and intercepted it. He was playing off, baited us tremendously. And Walker's struggles under center here the past few weeks really coming to life, really being exposed. Man, through, 5 games, we had 2 interceptions and now 4 in the past 2 weeks. Just got away from the running game. And now Ertz will keep. Jerry Jones all over that, but Ertz, strong truck there to keep going. But Mike Johnson, another tackle, 4 for loss in this game with a sack. I have no idea what we're doing on offense right now. Maybe our worst stretch through this entire series. Teams have had a lot more film on us, maybe seeing our flaws here this season. Bobby Price, a good tackle there to force Davis out of bounds. Now 3rd down. 3rd and 6 from the 33. Jesse Ertz, 12 out of 14, but just 60 yards from the shotgun here. He takes the snap. Gonna just swing that towards Spencer. Derek Perkins all over that, just 1 yard. Another 4th down for the Wildcats. Now Kansas State on for the punt, and let's just try to win this game 3-0. Let's go for the bare minimum in this one. Kevin Davis, another return here. Good block picked up there. He just swing it now to the right side. And whoever that was couldn't pick up a block, but another good juke there in the open field. And Kevin Davis, maybe his best punt return of the season. Rocking that to the 46, and we certainly need that with our lack of offense. We need the special teams, maybe even the defense, to score for us here today if we're going to come out on top. Although we do start here across midfield. Hopefully we can take advantage this time. Another give for Alexander as he gets a couple. I don't think I'm going to throw it a single time on this drive. 3rd and 20. We're still gonna run it. I say that, but we'll probably pass next play. Now Dusty Alexander again will get the give. Strong hit there from Samuel, coming out of frame, coming off that big interception, and then an even bigger hit that time. Now 3rd and 4. Now at this point, 3rd and 4, we're just gonna try and run it. Maybe get the conversion or set up a better, more manageable 4th down. We'll go McBride. And Kansas State all over that. And I don't think we can even go for it in this spot. 4th and 6, what are we at? The 42? I don't know. Should we call a fake punt pass? I think we're going to do it. I think we've called, what, like 1 fake punt all series? I think this is the game to go for it again. Eddie Stevens on. What do we got, Eddie? Oh my goodness, why did Carroll stop running towards the sideline? Stevens even got that one into Carroll's hands, but he couldn't hang on. And look, Carroll just stops there in congestion. If he kept going towards the sideline, he would have been open. I guess that's why he's a corner and not a receiver. What an ugly game. This kind of reminds me of last year. I think it was week 2. Or maybe that was year 3, week 2, year 4, week 2 against Ohio when we won 10-3. Our only touchdown was a scoop and score in that game. Jerry Jones, I believe. How does Jamil Davis break all these tackles? We had 3 guys on him there in the backfield, and he gets off all of them. Chris Carter, get off me. Kenny Johnson, you're not bringing me down either. Get off me. Antonio Carr, you're not getting me. Bobby Price, you're not getting me. But Mark Henry finally does get him. Now less than a minute left in this 3rd quarter. Kansas State again across the 40. Can they cash in this time? They'll go play action. They'll just drop that off for Small, and Aaron Clark absolutely lays him out there. 2nd and 8 now. 2nd and 8, Ertz from the shotgun. But I was going to say they don't make us call a play, but they do to our benefit as Antonio Carr gets in the backfield, a 2-yard loss, and I think Davis might be a little shaken up. Another interception from Greg Walker, which marks 6 in the last 3 games. I think just 1 or 2 prior to that. Our fake punt didn't work out as we're still scoreless here from the BMO Bradley Center. 3rd and 10 here to start the 4th quarter. Kansas State from the 39. Ertz directly under center. Small goes in motion, and Ertz will pass. And he has me at the sideline. That's Vaughn. And Williamson too far off there. Couldn't adjust there to the out route. And a big conversion there for the Wildcats, now at the 24. Probably the biggest connection there for either side in the passing game here today. Now, Kansas State at the 25, Ertz to pass. And they'll dump that off for Ransom, and that skips for an incompletion. Now 2nd and 10, going to bring some pressure here. And we'll go with the run. And Mike Johnson just barely able to trip up Ransom. Was one-on-one there in the backfield. Ransom cut it outside, and Mike Johnson just barely able to catch up to him. 3rd and 10. Kansas State only with 3 receivers on the field, but we're still going to go dime here. Ertz to pass. And they'll dump that off for Ransom, and true freshman Troy Walker all over that. Wraps up Ransom to force the 4th and 12, and now they're probably going to kick a field goal here from the 44. Already 0 for 2. Let's see if they hang even more points on the board, or if they can get on the board for the first time in this game. Kick is up. That one off the right upright, and it's no good. What a tough break from Kansas State. Tennessee still leading the South Carolina Gamecocks here, 35-28. Less than 5 minutes remaining. Josh Dobbs at quarterback for the Vols. Jeez, that is unbelievable. Kansas State 0 for 3 on field goals today. That one probably should have been in. Now, good block picked up there by Jeff Harris, the fullback, as that opened up Alexander to the right for 10. I think we're just going to feed Dusty here down the stretch, try and kill some clock and get at least a field goal here, get on the board, but obviously you want a touchdown in this spot because Kansas State probably not going to score. And now we do give back to Alexander to the left this time, and he works that for 4. Marquette still under 100 total yards in this game. McBride gets a turn, and he'll just scrape through the middle 5 yards, now 3rd and 1. Now in this short yardage situation, McBride's still in the game as he gets the carry, finds a hole, and a good run there, 8 yards across midfield, 1st down. Marquette now from the 47, and they'll go right back to Alexander. A good shift there as he gets headed for 7 yards. 2nd and 3, now less than 5 minutes left in this low-scoring affair. I don't even know if you could call it low-scoring because there hasn't been any scoring as Walker keeps on the read option, gets 10. Now less than 4.5 remaining. Coleman motions into the backfield. Alexander gets the give, though. Take that up the middle for 7. Very good first game back from Dusty Alexander, over 70 yards already as we hit the 4-minute mark in this game. We'll go back to Mario McBride. Takes that up the middle. Gets 4 yards in the 1st down. Don't want to overdo it with him, though. Coming off broken ribs. We'll still mix McBride in, Craig Jones occasionally. And for now, I don't think we'll have Alexander on kick returns, although he was there to start the season. But Williamson has done a decent job. And then McBride takes the snap. Tried to work it to the left. Does break a tackle. Spins off a man. Another spin. And then he works ahead for 11. Good run there from McBride. Stringing together a couple broken tackles, a couple spins, en route to a 1st down. This is what happens when we just run it every play. We actually put together a consecutive drive and work it down the field. Now inside the 10, 1st and goal for Marquette. As they'll go back to McBride. Runs into his own man. And then works ahead for 4. McBride's still in the game here with 3 tight ends on the field. As he does get the call, breaks a tackle, and then brought down for a loss. Thought we should maybe audible or called a timeout there. But Terry McMahon, 7 tackles, 2 for loss, and a sack. A very good D end here for Kansas State. Now Dusty Alexander back in the game. We'll see if he can finish it off as we're now at the 2-minute mark in this 4th quarter. Alexander does get the carry. A spin move into the end zone. And welcome back, Dusty Alexander. I don't know why we just didn't give him 30 carries in this game. The only score to the game so far, and now just 157 remaining for Kansas State. Let's see if our defense can hold strong down the stretch. I think on that drive alone, almost exceeding our yardage total in the entire game prior to that point. And now Spencer on for the return. Good field position, pivotal here. And Mike Carroll gonna rip him down by a face mask, and that'll give him an extra 15. Not at all what we need to be doing in that spot, giving Kansas State some free yards. And now they take over from the 42, 153 remaining. So they'll set up a screen. Mike Johnson all over that, and add on another tackle for a loss. That's 5 or 6 now for Mike Johnson. Kansas State now gonna start going hurry up. Ertz, 17 for 20, just 73 yards. Super conservative effort there in the passing game. Ertz now to pass. Has a man over the middle. And Jones, Judah Jones, their top offensive weapon. His first touch today, 17 yards as Carter missed a tackle there. Ertz from the shotgun. Jamil Davis back in the game. Only missed, I think, just 1 drive. Ertz to pass. Has a man over the middle. It's Spencer and a big hit from Chris Carter. Only 4 yards there for Kansas State. Now exactly 1 minute left. 2nd and 6 from the 40. Kansas State trying to put together a late drive, and we had Carter there on Davis, and Davis a tremendous route there. Carter just does not have the agility to stick on him in man, and a big hit there. Kansas State takes their first time out. It's always late in the game where our defense kind of falls apart on these quick hit drives. Now Kansas State just outside the red zone, plenty of time here. Small in motion. Ertz will throw. Gonna roll to the left, and Mike Johnson there. And what is that, 7 tackles for loss in 1 game now? Absurd production from Mike Johnson. That's absolutely crazy. A lot of them kind of, gimmies. Just Ertz running right into him. Now they'll go with a run here for Davis on 2nd and 16. And he does cut it in half. Now 3rd and 8, 1 timeout remaining. And now they're going to go hurry up, save that timeout. Each team now gets set. 35 seconds left. Small in motion, even more now off the clock. Go over the middle for Judah Jones, and he drops it. I'm not sure if that was on purpose with Carter there. Maybe going to bring him down short of the first down marker, which would keep the clock moving. But now 4th and 8, and they need to convert here. Really all comes down to this. We've seen Marquette kind of fall apart at times in these spots. And Ertz is going to be brought down. I think that was Witherspoon, and just Ertz did not really have, neither quarterback had a good game by any stretch of the imagination, but Ertz a little more veteran savvy, you would think. And that is going to do it here in this one. Marquette's going to come away with a 7-0 victory. I mean, like I've always say, a win is a win. Some more exciting than others, but we were kind of desperate to get back in the win column. We'll just call one more run here for Alexander. And really nothing doing. Kansas State takes their final timeout. We were desperate to get back in the win column after falling last week. We kind of collapsed in that game against West Virginia. Albeit, a tough road game against a ranked opponent. But this game, I was not ready for this. 7-0. I mean, surely our offense is better than how we've been playing the past couple weeks. Only 1 touchdown. So this season we've kind of tried to have more emphasis on the passing game. It really worked there in the first few weeks, but I think we have to go back to our roots now, especially with Alexander back. I think we have to be a run-first team, run the rock to try and open up the pass, which has worked for us in the past. So I think that is what we're going to roll with from here on out. Next week, a very tough game on the road in Madison. The war for Wisconsin against the Badgers. The first of what I expect now to be a yearly rivalry game. Mike Johnson, player of the game, 8 tackles, 7 for loss. I think, 2 sacks. As we got our second shutout of the series. The first one, what was that, year 2 or year 3? When we upset Mississippi State on the road in that SEC matchup. But 7-0 here from Milwaukee. And I'll see you back for some recruiting news. And now we're here at the recruiting board following that 7-0 victory. Our defense pitched a shutout, but our offense really struggled to get going. And wins like that, even though it's a victory, it just kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Just poor offensive execution, and we got to get better going ahead. I think, like I said, we'll rely on the running game to set up the pass like we have in the past, and I think that should give us a little more success going forward. So some big bad news here. Some good news and some bad news, but we'll start with the bad news. That's what I usually go for in those situations. Give me the bad news first. And Tyson Williams, our top target in this recruiting cycle, has committed to Wisconsin, and how fitting that we're going to visit Madison and play them next week. Like I said, we're going to do the War for Wisconsin. We're going to have that as a yearly game now, as a rivalry game, the War for Wisconsin, and Tyson Williams picking the wrong side. So kind of cool. We're going to get to play against him the next 3 or 4 years. We wish him the best of luck in Wisconsin with the Badgers, and we know he's going to be a stud tight end going forward. So definitely stings a little bit to miss out on Williams. Could have been the centerpiece for the offense, starting his freshman, sophomore season, but we're going to be playing against him instead. Now to the good news. We did get 4 more recruits, 4 more commits in this past week. We already had Kyle Romero, Dustin Lee, who went down to a 61, a bust, Doug Doherty from Milwaukee staying in city, Daryl Simmons a safety, and Matt Robinson, a very good blocking fullback. So Bo Jackson, we didn't even really need to pursue him. He goes to Madison as well. And Williams, he actually had his visit with the Badgers, and that was enough for him. He decided to stay, and we wish him the best of luck, but it's going to be tough playing against him. So Jared Luke, the 14th ranked running back on the board, 155 nationally, a 4-star. So I think just our 3rd 4-star signing so far in this series. Stays in state from Greenfield, Wisconsin. A speed back there with 88 speed, 82 agility, 71 stiff arm, 75 juke move, the elusiveness, spin move, and break tackle at C. So I think he'll be a pretty good runner. We'll go ahead and uncover the rest of his scouting. And he goes down 3 points. I mean, what are you going to do? The break tackle goes down at 63, 78 elusive, 75 juke, 78 spin, only 65 vision though, 67 carrying. So ball security and vision definitely need to get a little bit better, but looks to be an explosive back, 90 acceleration. We like that. Just needs to round out the edges a little bit. The release goes up to a 69 with 64 route running. So Jared Luke, welcome to Milwaukee. And I guess next year, we're not going to redshirt a 4-star, especially if they're not a bust. If they're a bust 4-star, we'll think about it. But seeing as how he's a clean 4-star, we're going to have him play on the active roster next year, although it will be a crowded backfield. But after the next season or two, he should step into a starting role. Taylor Ryan, the only D-end that we're going to sign in this class, more than likely, Iowa City, Iowa. And I think we needed one more for Iowa to make him a pipeline. So a big addition there. 6'3", 241. And he is 79 block shed, a very good starting point there. 68 finesse, the power move at C speed and strength, 70 hit power, 67 pursuit. Already up 3 points after initial scouting. And let's see how it goes. He goes down back 3, so back to his 65 base. The power move at 76, love to see that. Speed a little low, but not awful for a DN. Good tackle. The play rec a little low, though. So Taylor Ryan maybe going to be in the rotation next year. I think we'll only have 4 DNs on the roster. Marlon Atkinson, another Milwaukee kid, like we mentioned with Darty previously. He's going to stay in city. Our first lineman commit of this season. We're trying to get at least 1, hopefully 2 more. 77 pass blocks, so obviously more of a pass blocker. A 71 impact, run block at 70. Let's see what the strength goes up to. The strength at 77, so like Ryan, he stays at his base, 68 overall. And we haven't had much luck with these guys after further scouting. A lot of them dropped, especially Dustin Lee here, dropped 7 to a bust. Doug Doherty, though, goes up +6. Simmons dropped 1. Matt Robinson went up +5. What about Romero? He went up +1. And that'll bring us now to Andrew Thomas, a corner who, like the Fighting Illini were leading for him. Iowa was up on us. And then all of a sudden, all these teams just pulled out. So that kind of makes me nervous. After initial scouting, stayed at 67. Already has 76 man, 92 speed. Love that. We definitely need some speed there on the boundary. B zone, B acceleration, C agility a little low, but otherwise looks to be a very good corner prospect. Let's see what he goes up to. He goes up 1 to a 68 with 83 jump, 81 agility. Those both get a little boost with 83 zone. The press a little low, but overall I think a very good corner, and I'm happy we're able to come away with him. So we have Thomas and Doherty as our 2 corner signings, but we have a bunch of other guys here on the board at corner. Shane Jansen, I mean, we're gaining a bunch of ground on him. 240, only trailing Texas by a little, and he's only 17% locked. A speed, agility a little low, but B man, C zone, 82 press, so just a stellar corner prospect. And I mean, if we have the points, I don't see why we wouldn't, trying to make a run at him. But we do need to get a safety, so we'll go up and review these guys we're currently pursuing. Stephen Goodman, we really like as a free safety, but we're slipping a little bit each week. 70, and Northwestern gaining some ground. Eastern Michigan gaining. Cincinnati might get locked out soon. I don't know if they'll make it to their visit with him. So I'm trying to realize with these higher profile recruits that it probably pays off to schedule them later, but I always feel like that's risky if we were to get locked out. I mean, we do have 3 locks now. We haven't even had to use any since like year 2, year 3. I thought Tyson Williams might get to that point, but he ends up committing already. So we'll see what happens with Stephen Goodman, but we definitely need a free safety in this class. So one of those guys we added later mid-season will probably pursue for that spot. Roger Cook, Eastern Michigan gaining 95, but we're still in the lead for him. But every team behind us still with their visit, but it looks like all of them not far from dropping out, although Michigan barely hanging in there. They have their visit with him, I think, next week, so the Wolverines could gain a lot of ground. Cook, I'm really hoping Goodman just goes into the offseason, but Cook might be one of those guys. Kevin Evans, another receiver we're pursuing, trying to sign 2 in this class, and Eastern Michigan up on him. Good route running, but low spec catch, low release. Decent athlete so far. But we did add a few athletes to the board that we'll talk about here soon. Bobby Guidry, another offensive lineman. We just got Atkinson trying to get Bobby Guidry, Fighting Illini, gaining 30 each week. They still have their visit, and I don't think they're really at threat of being locked out. Jonathan Roberson, James Suggs, 2 linebackers we're pursuing. And Hunter Kraft, the top kicker in the nation, still leading for him, but Michigan State and Minnesota still have their visits with him. We're only gaining 60 each week, so they're really not at threat of being dropped out, I wouldn't think, as they'll both probably make it to the visits. And Hunter Kraft might go into the offseason. A bunch of fillers down here. I think Francis we might be able to just take off, and Henry. I kind of did like Henry, but we got 2 corners. I wasn't expecting to get Thomas. Tony Barnes at D-end. He looked promising, started at a 70, but dropped 5 after initial scouting. Really only the block shed and a B power move worthwhile traits at this point. And like I said, I think we're only going to go 1 D-end in this class. So that we do need a safety, and I think I did say I prefer Ryan Jacques, even though he's more of a strong safety with the 81 hit power, 77 pursuit. The coverage rating is not bad, though, to start. 91 acceleration, B speed, 74 agility. And then there was Lance Jones right here. 90 speed, 82 agility, B acceleration. The coverage not as good, though. 65-man D zone and 76 press. So I'm a better athlete than Jacques, but I think Ryan Jacques is just a better, more well-rounded player. Shane Jansen, I don't really think I liked him as a safety. I mean, he could play safety. I don't see why not, but I'd rather have him at corner. Maybe move one of these corners who we already signed to safety, maybe Thomas. 74 hit power. Not good pursuit, not good tackle, but I think he's someone who could play free safety, actually, Andrew Thomas. And he would probably go up to like a 70 overall after we transitioned him over there. Doug Doherty probably just going to stay as a corner. 2-star, probably just going to redshirt most if not all our 2-stars. So I think we will just start going after Shane Jansen here with the plan to move Andrew Thomas to safety. So we'll go ahead and just move him up the board. Is that Wyandotte, Michigan, or Wyandotte? Someone help me on that. Texas leading. And we'll just go ahead and give him the full 500. I'm not sure. I will hold off on a scholarship for now. And we still have a bunch of points here to work with. And now, we didn't have any tight ends around the nation. Actually, I only checked regionally. Let me check nationally if there are any tight ends around the nation with a low lock percentage to kind of compensate for the loss there, Tyson Williams. So Jared Luke at 155 nationally. I think that is our highest signed prospect to date. Tight ends. See, like we had Tyler Mayfield, Keith Brown, just low level players. And I haven't looked nationally for a tight end. Like we had Matt Simpson already 61% after halfway scouted. None of these guys really worth going after, unfortunately. So we are probably going to have to look at our athletes. And I don't know if we have a clear-cut tight end, but there were a couple guys who might be able to pull it off. Joe Barnes, 6'3", 211. Maybe not heavy enough to be a tight end. At only 211, more of a receiver. But he does have C strength. And Albert Brown here, let me see. He was 6 foot 236, so I like him as a Josh Terry type guy, a good route runner. Can maybe play in the slot, play at H-back, fullback type guy. 61 strength though, but 88 carrying, C break tackle, D stiff arm. I think we will pursue at least one of these guys. I mean, receiver wise, we already signed one. We need 2. Kevin Evans, I don't know if he's fully commit to coming to Eastern Michigan. They're kind of pulling up on us, and they still have a visit with him. So I think Joe Barnes would be a better wide receiver option anyway. Looks to be a better player. Plus he has the athlete versatility. Could always put him somewhere else. Same here with Albert Brown. Kind of already mentioned what I like from him. Just kind of a new Josh Taylor. Once not Josh Taylor, Josh Terry. I don't know if I called him Taylor earlier. Josh Terry. He's been our most explosive offensive weapon so far. JUCO transfer. Michael Johnson, 80 speed, C strength. So maybe a tight end. 85 trucking. 80 ball carrier vision, B carrying, C route running. Not the best catching, but 6'1", 223. I don't know if he's a tight end at that size, but maybe. 80 speed, I mean, he's not really a running back at 80 speed. Maybe a fullback. Does have some defensive traits as well, though. Good man, good zone to start with, good press. Tremendous tackle at 84, 79 pursuit, but only 40 block shed. So probably not a linebacker with just a 40 block shed, but only 80 speed. Probably don't want to put him at safety either, but tremendous traits, though, to start with, especially tackling. But he has 85 trucking, 81 juke, so maybe even like a two-way player, maybe. Michael Johnson, 64 overall athlete out of Greenwood, Indiana. And then Tommy Washington, a JUCO, 6'5", 227. Definitely tight end size, you would think. 90 speed, only D strength, though. Doesn't really hold up well there at tight end. And we don't know if any of these guys have blocking traits. So if you want to bring them in as a tight end, it's kind of a guessing game. So Washington, 73 tackle and pursuit, 71 zone. So maybe a linebacker. 6'5", 227, maybe a DN, but only 55 block shed on a power move and finesse move in the 30s. So probably not a defensive player. At least if he had like power move or finesse move to compensate for the poor block shed, it would be something, but they're even far worse than the block shed. B play rec though with good coverage traits. So maybe a strict coverage linebacker at 6'5", 227. I don't think that really makes much sense. Offensively, 82 route running, decent catching, CC, and then D for catching traffic. So maybe he can play tight end at 6'5", 227. Like I said, definitely the size for it. So out of these athletes, I mean, I guess Albert Brown would be another fun player, and we still have a bunch. Can we go like max on all these guys right now? That leaves us with 210. And what about this tackle, Chris Davis? Another late addition to the board from out of North Dakota, so not like directly in our region, but he was already interested to start, and he had a low lock percentage, so we just went with it. Plus North Dakota, not too far off from Wisconsin. Drove through each state on a road trip a few years back. Chris from Washington State all the way back here to Jersey, a cross-country trip. Did it in 50 hours. Chris Davis, a good run blocker, C pass block, 82 strength, decent athlete at tackle, but the D impact not the best. Plus we already have some guys up here on O-line that we're still kind of going after. So with Joe Barnes, we don't really need to make a run at any other of these DBs with a plan to move one to safety. Albert Brown, just an offensive weapon. Joe Barnes, a potential receiver, maybe tight end. I think Tommy Washington, I like all these guys in different ways, to be honest. So I think we'll just go after all of them in some way, shape, or form. Can we take any points off any of these players up here? Probably not. Like I said in the past, we kind of like to stay loyal to these guys, but maybe Evans with a new receiver option emerging. And Eastern Michigan is gaining. I think we'll just leave him max for one more week, see how that goes. So then I think here we have to kind of play around a little bit just to maybe evenly distribute all these. So what we have, 12, 10, 4 guys, so maybe like 300 each if my calculations are correct. Albert Brown, though, already gets a 330 boost, so maybe we could just do 200 for him. Michael Johnson, a lower boost, so maybe we'll go 350 for him. Joe Barnes, a decent boost, but we probably want him the most out of all these guys. So I think we'll go 450 on him. I think we'll just roll with that. We want a little more for Washington, I think. So we'll just roll with that. Really no method to the madness, just a quick divvy up there. And we'll see how that goes into next week. So this is an update on the recruiting board. Now up to, I think, 9 signings in the class. And based on our needs entering, I mean, we really didn't have too many more we have to hit. I think a tight end maybe. We don't really need one. We'll still have 3 next year. One or two more linemen, a linebacker, a safety, and then like a punter. And speaking of punter, we do have to schedule Richard Scott. So we'll just go get him in for Western Kentucky. Only 2 more home games. We have Western Kentucky and then Notre Dame, which will be our senior day. I think we'll just keep Francis unscheduled and maybe try and get him a complimentary visit for a late addition. Now for a quick top 25 update, and South Carolina remains at number 1 after defeating Tennessee in overtime 6-0. Who do they finish the season with? None of the teams they beat currently ranked, only one with a winning record, that being UAB. Doesn't really count. They have Missouri, Vandy, BYU, Florida, number 5 Texas A&M, then Clemson. So the SEC doesn't really look to be, I mean, as tough as it usually is. Baylor 5-0, so, and Northwestern actually beat Minnesota. Northwestern receiving 3 BCS votes, I think that signifies. Northwestern had 8, 6-0, and yeah, like it has 3. So is that 3 first place votes actually? Disregard that. Yeah, 3 first place votes, all the way down there at 8. Ohio State now up to 3, 5-1. Georgia Tech at number 4. They come off an overtime victory against North Carolina. Texas A&M, the top 2 loss team at 6-2. Army 5-1. Arizona in the top 10 still 6-1, and the Wildcats 6-0. Who do they finish with? They haven't beaten any ranked teams either. Only one with a winning record. Down the stretch, they have Iowa, Nebraska, and Purdue, the only ranked teams, at Wisconsin. So not the toughest stretch there. They don't have Michigan or Ohio State. as Oregon number 9 now after they lose to UCLA, who's now number 11, Virginia Tech. They respond well after number 2. They lost to ECU at number 2, a big upset last week, but they respond with a big win over Duke. USC beats Notre Dame. TCU falls 9 spots now out of the top 5 after a loss to Oklahoma State. Miami out of the top 5 as well. So number 3 and number 4 and number 2 all lose this week. The rankings have just been crazy over the past few. No stability up there in the top 5. Anything is possible this year. TCU at 3-2, Miami at 4-2, LSU at 15, 5-2, Oklahoma 4-1, West Virginia 4-2. They've put together 4 straight wins now. They beat us last week, and they beat Texas. They're in Austin, entering this week the number 3 toughest place to play. Auburn, another loss. We'll see them here in a couple weeks. I think we have at Wisconsin and at Auburn. So hopefully they can beat number 5 Texas A&M and stay in the rankings. A tough one there in the SEC. Mississippi State 3-3 at 19. Notre Dame at 20. We'll see them here shortly. Purdue, Navy at 5-0. Nebraska, Marquette, we're back in it after a 7-0 victory at 24. And ECU at 25. In the Heisman watch, it's still all running backs, although we have 2 new additions here in Davion Smith from Michigan. A big win against Rutgers. 221 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, 53 receiving yards, and another touchdown. A.J. Moore from BYU, a good performance there against Auburn in a big upset win. So James White still leading, only 78 yards, 2 scores against Texas State. Travis Curtis, number 2, and David Williams, number 3 of the number 1 South Carolina Gamecocks. And now we do have one defensive coordinator point to assign here to Matt Campbell, first-year DC from Toledo. He was fired. I think we'll go catching, try and get some more interceptions. So yeah, we'll add 1 to ball burglar, get us up there to number 2 now, as Matt Campbell now a 16-level head or offensive coordinator, former head coach, and Bobby Goss probably going to get another XP point here after this next week coming up. But very tough stretch there for the offense, and maybe Lance Leipold has to take back play calling duties. So that's going to do it here in this episode. This is where I'm going to leave you, folks. Not the most impressive 7-0 victory, but we'll take it. Our second shutout of the series. We get 4 more commits, so the recruiting class kind of taking shape, and we have a few interesting late additions who are going to be fun to pursue here down the stretch. So as always, everybody, thank you so much for watching. It's been real, and be well, and I'll see you next time.